we do tie into technology because it's very important. You know, we all know everyone lives online and offline, so creating a viral loop is very important. Just keeping an ongoing, 360 conversation. So now we're at the next phase of driving the traffic to the website. Now there's some existing tools there where there's quizzes and choices, and the stories will be showing loads of the whole suite of interventions, so you can actually go and see how their stories ended, and good, bad, or indifferent. But what I like here is the next one, where we create a partnership with kind of based on the idea that it's not going to happen to me. I'm not gonna, oh yeah, I can like smoke weed, I can get wasted, like I can even do some coke or whatever, and it's not going to affect me. But we created a partnership with Morph Things, so this widget will transform your friend into an addict, and you can actually see what happens. You can personalize the message and say, Lucy, you're starting to, you're drinking a lot every day. That's a problem. You can do it anonymous or direct, and you can email, or you can, post it to social networks, and we're pretty excited about that. So there's some technology involved in what I'm doing here. So some insights in engaging youth in general. Create an environment to listen, not just listen. Create places and spaces and facilitate something interesting for them to come and listen. And in fact, in this campaign, so it's just weird that I didn't mention that. The whole time it was developed by and for youth, so we started off with just making sure that in our office we weren't going crazy with our names and ideas and just strictly research surveys. But as we were doing the video cuts, I don't know how many of you are familiar with Meebo. It's an instant messaging service. Well, Meebo also has Meebo Rooms with a video-enabled chat room. So we were able to just use a whole bunch of people, like several hundred people in our youth network, to actually watch as we were editing the video and see cuts and give us feedback, so that they really truly felt like we were doing the best we could, I guess, with a video and that medium. So involving young people in your program, rewarding them for participation. Rewards do not necessarily need to mean money. Rewards are social recognition, and we'll circle back to that because I've been at several of the sessions, and a lot of people say, oh, we did this campaign, well, we didn't have money to create a scholarship, or we didn't have contest incentives. And I always think that you always have an ability to have rewards, and I'll talk about that. So act as a facilitator of the process. We are the experts, so you're the experts, your team is the experts, but we can simply act as the facilitator of the process and make our lives a lot easier. Integrate cross-platform engagement, and that wraps back into the crux of entertaining the senses, or being all-encompassing, creating a 360 campaign. Develop strategic win-win partnership opportunities. There are, when it was relative to youth, there's so many companies that don't have money to sponsor campaigns or programs. But if you look at the music industry, the fashion industries, the action sports industries, these are all industries very willing, if you have a good program, to donate services or products and samples and things to make great rewards. And that's how I was bringing back rewarding for participation. Whether that's on a small community level with retail, or that's with large brands. Improve and repeat. The right combination will improve campaign performance. It works every time if you have a great product or service that's worth subscribing to. Thanks. The idea of a video and just seeing and hearing are truly the senses. So you have an imagination. You can imagine that you saw and heard that. Because you heard me speaking, and that's sound. So you said sight and sound. So if you look at taste, sometimes you have to be innovative, and you have to think like, is it in good taste, or is it in bad taste? And I think you have to spin things around. So, and so here's the deal. No, to your question, this is a good question, and I actually think the same way, and I hear it a lot, so I'll take you on. So the idea of the right combination is not that you need to entertain all of the senses every time. It's not integral to entertain the senses and say sound, taste, touch, hear, touch. It's like sensory overload. It's not necessary, But the idea of being tactual or experience-based is that when you play the card game, that you are. You didn't taste it, but you're touching it and you're experiencing it, and you're moving around and you're thinking about it, so you get engaged. And I'll be honest with you, in the presentation, when we started doing it with the Drug Free America, I said, hey, but we're not sure it's going to work. To be honest with you. We said, I am not sure. I am so honored that you decided to hire us to do this. But, I'm a former professional skateboarder, and I've seen, drugs in use, and I said, I'm not sure you can do anything about it. I don't necessarily believe that you can do something, but I know that we can take your idea of a PowerPoint and push it to another level and have the most impact on certain people. So I was blown away that most of the people that watched the video actually got done with the video and they were like, hey, actually, okay, no, it's pretty cool. Actually, it's kind of good. And then after they get done watching the game, I watched girls that sat in the game. Actually, last week, I watched this one girl. She's like, did you like it? Like, was it okay? And she's like, I've been in and out of rehab like 5 times. And she's like, the game's kind of cool, huh? And I said, amen, I was like, did I entertain the senses? I think we entertained our senses. So, I don't know. Is that cool? You got a good question, right? I like it. So, this doesn't exist, so there's nothing we can do but talk about it. So, but the idea in Baby Hunter's Point, where we're trying to reduce gonorrhea and chlamydia, we need to basically have a way to inspire people to get tested and eventually create ongoing sustainability with that. So the program that we're putting in place is a youth-driven mini event series, I guess we'll call it. So, but the way it works is that the youth will actually co-develop the whole program, sort of pre, during, and post, and sort of be agents of the change. We'll be facilitating that program. But how it works is they're going to actually come up with these mini-series events. They'll say they'll happen every month for 3 months, and maybe even, depending on budget, be able to go additional months. But there's this, every 3 months to get tested. But if you look at the core of it, what happens is you get let's call it like a ticket or a card. So if you go to get tested, then during the campaign or during the program, you'll actually get a little card that'll actually give you your pass to get to the mini events. So it'll make the mini events really cool. There will be on-site testing there, but for people that can go to the clinic, they actually get this ticket to get to some really, really cool events, and therefore then we have a measurable way to judge the testing. I wasn't completely bust out on this one, but